How are you feeling, Didi?
I'm good, I'm excited.
Got your warrior braids in.
Yeah, buddy.
Danny, you going to support us?
100%. Got my pom-poms.
By holding the camera, using that as a primer for tomorrow.
Yeah. Manager, bag carrier.
Oh yeah, Rob, you obviously featured in the last one. You're our good luck charm.
the most important person.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, how are you feeling? Are you ready to? Are you still super excited because you don't have to do anything?
For you.
Exactly. There we go. Zach,
We need to finish it.
how you feeling?
Doing good, getting there.
You definitely look ready to work out in your
I do.
in your
Honestly,
denim
these
trackies.
jeans are all about range of motion, you know?
Are they good? Is it the old school jeans that they're so tight they literally slingshot you back up?
Yeah.
Fantastic. It gets the job done. Okay, so I'm gonna get my first excuse in already. Stayed at the Hilton last night, Doubletree, and for the first time in about 4 years, my meal was spiked with gluten, which did not give me the best possible start to this competition. So this morning my gut's feeling a little bit sketchy. And flipping coffee shop, the only one in Printworks in London, is closed, not even open yet. But as soon as that opens, get a hot cup of Joe and me, and that's gonna change everything. Two cans in the hand, as standard. Sideshow Alley, which is the shortest event of the day, it's only 4 minutes. We've got that first in about 25 minutes time. Just gonna go around to the warm-up area around the side, see if my Achilles are still intact, and then we'll get cracking. In the middle of my warm-up, we go on in about 3 minutes. I warm up very quickly, but then it's minus 15 in here, so we get cold very quickly as well. First event that we are doing, 4 minutes only. 3 of the guys on the ski erg, so we basically do 20 seconds on, 40 seconds off, and we only do that twice, so absolute max out. And then we go to a synchro D-ball lift. We've got 30, 40, 50, so we've got to work out, and we'll probably test and adjust during the workout when we change. If we aim for 10 reps, 8, 15, whatever it may be before we rotate, we're going to have to see how we feel in there before, basically it's me saying we don't have a game plan for that bit. See how it goes. What is going on, guys? Jim Galvin here with the commentary, and on to event 1. This is something called Sideshow Alley, and considering I gob off about speed being underrated, the fact that this whole thing was just a 4-minute workout for 5 people definitely was in my wheelhouse. So the event was basically split into 2 different sections. You had the ski erg and you had some D-balls or kind of weighted sandbags. The guys started on one and the girls started on the other. You effectively had 2 minutes to work in kind of your same gender teams to build up as many calories on the ski erg and do as many synchro D-balls or sandbags to shoulder as possible. Us as the guys, we started on the ski erg and basically super easy kind of rotation. 2 minutes, we basically did 2 rounds of 20 seconds each. We did 20 seconds on, 40 seconds off. I can't actually remember the weight of the D-balls and sandbags for the girls. I think it was either 20 or 30, but they absolutely smashed that and kind of cycled through nice and quick. On the 2-minute buzzer, the teams then changed super quickly. The girls, obviously, the fact that there's only 2 of them means they get less rest. It's a 1-to-1 work to rest ratio instead of 1-to-2, but they nailed that on the ski erg. And the guys on the D-balls, that was all 3 of us doing synchro with a 30 kilo, 40 kilo, and 50 kilo. Big old Zach, being nearly 2 stone heavier than me, did the honourable thing and started on the 50 kilos, but then from there, I think he was on there for about 30 seconds, we then switched and I was on there for the last kind of roughly minute 20. I didn't mind that actually, I got into kind of a good little rhythm with picking up a little bit of a regrip, kind of snapping with the hips. You don't want to be curling it up too much with your arms. Onto one shoulder, other arm extended to show control. Everyone has to be synchro at that top position and then down from there. The fact that this is around about 1-to-1 or 1-to-2 work to rest, and it is as simple as max power output for 20-30 seconds on a piece of erg kit and a hell of a lot of D-balls. This is literally Atlas ADC down to a T. This is exactly what me and the other guys do. No surprise really, we ranked higher in this than we did in any other event. I think out of the 98 teams we came 5th. Not too shabby for event 1. So event 1 done. Sideshow Alley, that's kind of like the extra little event, 4 minutes. Near the speakers, probably can't hear me, but actually went quite well. So compared to the team before us, we got 15 extra on the D-balls, we got 19 extra on the calories, and in a short amount of time, with that kind of discrepancy, pretty happy. On to event 2, guys, thrusters. Crazy little ladder of some super high rep work. I kind of wrote the plan for this, and I suggested that we basically break everything into sets of 15, and the reason for that is I think the transitions of kind of, you know, one person getting off the platform, one person getting on, making sure that you're set up, like lifting, either power clean, rearranging your grip, and then going into the first rep, that does burn seconds. So for pretty much all of the rounds, for the first 3 rounds anyway, whether we had to do a total of 60 and then 45 and then 30. I suggested that everyone does it in sets of 15. That was pretty spicy. It did kind of put you in the bin a little bit. And it was all going really well, guys, until the very last round, when effectively there were only 5 reps left. So one person was just going to do all 5. It was either 80 kilos for the guys or 45 for the girls. And I think pretty much every team had their girls do it, because 45 kilos for kind of a functional fitness woman is significantly lighter than 80 kilos for a guy, right? It's going to save a lot more in the tank and probably be able to be cycled through a little bit quicker. And the girls unfortunately had a misload, and the rule for this event is that you have to have both barbells loaded up to the right weight before you can actually commence with the set. So we had to kind of quickly work out where the misload was, make sure that was rectified, communicate that, and then basically from there I was like, right, just get off the platform and then I'll do the 5 reps at 80. And again, that kind of went against the initial plan, but it's one of those things, sometimes you've got to do that in an event when something goes wrong, or someone's more tired, or someone's more energetic. There are 1,000,001 variables in situations like this, and you've got to kind of test and adjust. So I'm happy that I did that. You then basically get the rest of the time up to, I can't remember what it was, 14 minutes I think, after you've done that ladder to establish a 1 rep max thruster. Me and Zach both started at 100, but because I'd done the 5 at 80, I mean, it was okay. The 100 was fine, but it felt significantly heavier, and especially the lockout, I was like, bloody hell. I think my triceps at that end little range, just kind of pushing out. The extension of the elbows felt pretty spicy, but I did it not long after I did the 80 kilos, so I think I was struggling for that. So I was like, that was a little bit of a sobering moment, because my target was 105 or 110. I was like, bloody hell, I'm not really sure how I'm going to do with this, but I got 100 up. And then from there, I was like, I'm going to take a couple of minutes break, ensure I was a little bit more rested, instead of having only about 60 to 90 seconds between doing 5 at 80 and doing 1 at 100. I had a good couple of minutes, and Zach had already done 110, and I was like, I can't be bothered to move the weight down by 5 kilos. I'll either get it or I won't. Did the 110, the power clean was fine, rearranged the grip, and obviously with my right wrist being broken, and which it has been, I've had a broken scaphoid for about 13 years, and I can't even do press-ups. My front rack position is a little bit kind of skewy, but the squat portion felt fine, and the push and the lockout felt significantly easier than the 100. And it just goes to show that having that extra little bit of a rest kind of really worked well. But overall, it's a shame about the misload, but it does happen. But you know, the girls, they handled it well as soon as we realised that was the issue. And we didn't rank particularly well in this because the time taken to do the ladder, because of the misload, was a little bit slower. But again, these things happen, and in terms of the way that we recovered, absolutely nailed it. I'm super happy that I got 110. The game plan 1,000,000% changed during, but thrusters are something that, because it's not only aerobic, the strength kind of aspect is definitely the kind of the barrier to entry, the gateway for a lot of people, which means we don't know how we're going to respond to that in that time, because we're less kind of experienced with that kind of workout, which means the game plan is going to change during, which it did. So I wasn't expecting to do any at 60 kilos, but I did 12 of the 30, and I wasn't expecting to do any of the 80, but I did all 5, which was like a little loading problem. So once that was rolled back, finished that, which is why I needed a bit of a moment. First lift, 100, fuck me, that was a bit of a stretch to get that up, and then took most of that 4-minute gap and kind of knew that I'd go for my 110 with less than a minute, and it legit felt easier than the 100. So overall, that 2 guys getting 110, got to be happy with that. And moving on to event 3, guys, Blade Runner. This is basically working as 5 people, 2K on the bike and 1K on the ski being run concurrently, and then once both of them are down to 0 and you've done that, you have to do 26 18-meter shuttle runs. I think it was either 18 or 22 meters, something like this, with 3 people running together. You can switch out when you want, and this event actually John wrote the initial plan for, and it kind of went to shit straight away, and I'm not surprised because it's just, you just have no idea how you're going to get on the shuttles. And I think realistically it kind of sounds a bit mercenary, but if you're viewing this particular event and the whole competition through the lens of wanting to do well and wanting to compete, it can't just be about making sure that everyone gets an even amount of exposure. You just have to put the best people in, and sometimes some of the people are struggling with the shuttle runs, in which case they just need to kind of be taken out, and it makes sense to just save them so they've got a little bit more power in their legs for the bike, as an example. So 2K on the bike, 1K on the ski, and then 26 of these shuttle runs. This is all going okay. Once that's done, back on the erg kit, but the distances drop a little bit. So you've got 1.5K on the bike and 750 meters on the ski, and then back into the shuttle runs again 3 people synchro, and finally 1K on the bike, 500 meters on a ski. This is super simple, guys, because between the 5 of you on this last round, you're only doing 200 meters on a bike erg or 100 meters on a ski, so you can really smash this out fairly quick. And then the shuttle runs again. We did okay in this. Some people struggled with the shuttle runs more than others, which is absolutely natural because running and especially turning actually is kind of a skill in and of itself. I think we came around about 27th in this, but overall, one of the things I felt during this event and kind of at the end of the event is all of the events so far, I have to give credit to Turf Games. I just think the programming of every like functional fitness kind of meet I've done, the programming was just absolutely spot on. Like such an amazing variety, work in different energy systems. Even with a thruster, wouldn't have been my first choice in terms of my own preference, but is it just a raw test of strength? Absolutely. Like I just think overall, all the programs so far, or the events so far, I should say, have been programmed just so bloody well.
Well, that was spicy. The plan, seems to be the theme of the day, literally went to shit in the first 20 seconds.
Round 2, heat 4 complete.
The plan we had, like John said, works in a vacuum. Assuming that everything that we do, they always finish at exactly the same time. Doesn't work. Some people are quicker on the run, some people aren't. So you've got to kind of keep that cool-headedness to like course correct and slightly adjust the protocol in the middle of the workout. But second in the heat, and I think we would have done well. We watched the heat before us, and we finished at about I don't know, 45 seconds to go. I think overall, hopefully, we did well.
Zaki boy, 3 events out of 5 done. How you feeling?
Yeah, feeling good, feeling good. I think kind of our strategies, although maybe went out the window slightly, but because
in the first 10 seconds.
In the first 10 seconds, yeah, but because we had a good idea of like, you know, everyone's going to try their best, everyone's going to work really hard. When we had to swap out, everyone was like pretty comfortable going, yeah, I'll just jump in, I'm good. And that made things pretty smooth. There was no one going like, I need to swap out, and everyone going, nope, run again. It was no, we're all good. So,
how do you feel about the next event?
yeah, that's going to be interesting. Run, 160 cal, John and I, swapping in and out of that one and then into the rest. I think, you know, just setting a good pace, because that rowing workout, that part of it counts as like a whole workout by itself.
Yeah, that's it.
So
scored separately.
Not neglecting that to then think about the other. Think about it as a workout by itself. So give it everything, and then just jump into the rest. I think it'll be fun.
I'm excited, man. I'm excited for the rope climbs, and I'm excited not to go on the row, because like my max output on the row is quite good, but my ability to recover from that max output is phenomenally bad.
Yeah, I think we're going to balance it out quite well.
Yeah,
because I'm a bit heavier, like I can just lean back and it just helps.
Are you calling me skinny?
No, skinny or short, I don't know which one.
Both. Yeah, 100% both.
I don't think I can call you skinny, Jim. But
thank you, I appreciate that, buddy. I appreciate that. Eliza, how are you feeling 3 events in?
I'm feeling good.
Are you excited about the next 2?
Very much so.
Thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up. On to event 4. This one is called By My Side. This is where there's kind of 2 events actually being run concurrently and being scored separately. So one of them is a little chipper that we'll get onto in a minute, but the other one is basically 160 calories for time. And this is the one where realistically it was easiest to stick to any plan that we'd put in, because there were fewer curveballs, because we could literally write down rep for rep who's going to do what. So we kept John and Zach, you know, 6'2" and 6'6" on the rower. And they did the 160 calories in 4:41, which is an unbelievable time. And that was John's only role in this whole thing, both on the rower and off, was basically to be the main guy, because his row is extraordinary. His 500 meter row time is 1:20.5, which, if you don't have any context whether or not that's good, it's pretty bloody good. So while they were rotating, but John was taking point on that, the workout was 20 burpees to bar or burpees to target, 2 rope climbs, 20 wall balls, 20 Russian kettlebell swings, and then 20 box jumps, with either 2 or 3 or 1 person doing this. It's a bit of a confusing one. But the way that we started is basically me and Zach can cycle through burpees to target pretty quickly. So of the 20, we did the first 10. I then switched out, Dee went in, finished off those to give me a little bit of a breather, because I was going to do all the rope climbs. I think rope climbs are a very specialist movement, and if you can do it properly and probably squeeze the rope between the knees and between the feet, the chances are you're going to save a lot of energy. So I did both of the rope climbs. I then did all 20 wall balls, because I think it had to be 1 male, 1 female doing 20 wall balls. So myself and Dee did pretty much all of those. And then we had 3 people on the Russian kettlebell swings with 3 different weighted kettlebells. I think there was a 16, a 24 and a 32 from memory, but they're only Russian, so they're up to shoulder. But the most important thing is just kind of making sure that we're all in sync with each other. And then from there, Didi did a 20 box jumps, absolute legend on this, just flipping touch and go the whole time. And it was 3 rounds of that, right? So while Zach and John are doing the row, as soon as they've smashed that out, we've probably got a little bit more to do to finish off these 3 rounds. And then we cash out with 50 synchro wall balls, 1 man, 1 woman again. And we split that up fairly evenly between us. Absolutely loved this event. It was just amazing. I remember the feeling after this of feeling as though we'd executed it well. And there's such an amazing flipping level and pleasure with that. We won our heat by a fair bit and we were just absolutely buzzing.
Thank you to my training team 13 years ago who taught me how to climb a rope. I felt all right on the ropes actually, I felt quite quick. Event 4 done. Zach, how are we feeling? How was by my side?
I'm grateful to have a 6'10" giant on the rower.
Yeah, having John on the rower next to you was good.
Yeah, very, very handy. No, I thought it went really well. Smooth transitions, good turnover on the burpees. I was actually getting quite pumped. Normally I have to shut up and try to focus on breathing, but I can actually feel like I spoke a little bit. I don't know if you could hear me.
Yeah, you're telling me a story throughout. It was very weird.
I was, yeah. I mean, once upon a time, Jim was slower than Zach at burpees, and then suddenly he sped up.
I don't remember that time, mate. I think the thing is when you do,
it's a work of fiction.
Yeah,
Jim.
okay, well there we go. The burpees were 20, but we split them into 10s, and when you do 10, it's not really that aerobic when you're quite explosive. You can always hold your breath and get them done. Quick change, but we were just saying a minute ago, kind of off camera, like, of all the events we've done, as well as I think that ranked us higher than any others, it was just executed so well. Like Zach and John were the only people on the rower. The only thing Zach did in addition to the rower was 10 burpees per round with me. And that worked so well, and then it was myself and the girls kind of picking up the other stuff. I did all the rope climbs. Like we've had very, very kind of comprehensive strategies before, and they basically went to shit straight away, but this one, for some reason, it just worked a little bit better, I think, because the 2 things were a bit separate, and it allowed us to stick to that plan a lot better. And that it was a better vibe. And Didi smashed the box jumps.
And the box jump queen, smashed
box jumps queen, 20 touch and go.
And actually, Zach did 27 burpees, 45 wall balls, and 20 kettlebell swings. Not just 10 burpees per round.
Yeah. Also, Zach was there.
By the way, what was that?
Also, Zach was there.
Yeah.
Cheering us on.
Just in case you didn't know. No, I thought overall really good, and I think that shows as a team, like our sprint recovery is pretty good.
Yes.
So maybe on that kind of workout, we just know if we can have tactical breaks at the right times, that is right in our wheelhouse.
Yeah.
So going forward,
well, that's what we do at Atlas basically all the time. Like the work to rest ratio is like so important. Like in a team event like this, it's not steady state for 10 minutes. The chances are you're never working for more than about a 90-second to 2-minute period in one go. So the fact that we had that sprint and then sprint recovery, you've got to be able to execute. You've got to have high power output, and then you've got to be able to kind of almost supercharge back up to 80% capacity fairly quickly. And that's basically what we do in Atlas. That's what we do in a lot of our teams. And that was like, as well as ranking higher, it just the way self-reported from me, but the way that it felt to flip and execute that, it just felt smooth. Yeah. Everything went well. Transitions were good. It was like that was the most fun event because it just felt like we nailed it.
Yeah, 100%.
And because you won by like a whole few minutes.
And because we won by a fair old chunk. So yeah, man, happy with that.
Yeah, nice to clap everyone in for 2 straight minutes.
Yeah, exactly. So there was one other team on our lane that earlier in the day they beat our row by 9 seconds, but we beat their workout by 2 minutes. So I think overall we've got to be. I'm bloody over the moon with that. So that's 4 down, 1 to go. I think we've got about an hour, a little bit of water, probably a little bit more top-up caffeine.
What's your next workout?
The next workout is the worm, and this is the one that I know as basically nothing about, but Zach's written the strategy for this one.
What's on the theory?
What's the plan? What's the plan with the worm, boys?
Can't tell you that now. We're gonna make it up as we go along.
And it is all going so well at this point, and then what bloody happens here? Right, guys, so the last event, event 5, we are on to the worm, and effectively the event is this. You have an 11-minute time cap. Your target is 40 worm cleans, and the worm is a 4-person worm weighing 120 kilos. So in minutes 0 to 3, you are doing 2 rounds of synchro dumbbell work of 9 deadlifts. It's 22 kilos for the guys and 15 kilos for the girls, again double dumbbell, You're doing 2 rounds of synchro, 9 deadlifts, 6 hang cleans, and 3 shoulder to overhead, which is basically going to be a push press to save energy. Then once 2 rounds of synchro that are done, 4 athletes go into 15 synchro burpees over worm. And then in the remaining time of the 3-minute window, you do a maximum number of alternating worm cleans. On the 3-minute buzzer, you have a forced 1-minute rest between minutes 3 and 4 from the event, and then 4 to 7 minutes, you effectively repeat as above. 7 to 8 minutes, again another forced rest, and then 8 to 11 minutes, repeat as above. Guys, for us, this event, as you're probably seeing here, did not go well. So I don't want to be too scathing on a platform like this, but there were some issues with the judging, in my opinion, because we got no reps about 8 times and we weren't told. So I kind of went at a certain pace thinking, yeah, we're going through the burpees quite quickly here, and for either a single-legged takeoff or not touching the chest at the right time or not landing at the right time or whatever, the reps were racking up 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and then just as I landed kind of after rep 13, about to go into rep 14, I looked up at the judge and she went 6. And I was like, 6? And I just got super confused. And this is the point where I did start to lose my temper. You'll see kind of a live review of this in a minute, guys. I think I knew we were doing okay, and we were probably top 10 out of 100 teams, and that's just kind of a fun place to be before this. And this entire thing just absolutely went to shit, and a lot of the team really struggled with the worm, whether it was kind of the cadence or like the rhythm or the weight, I'm not too sure. But it was just something that we just kept getting no reps, we kept getting no reps on the worm, and in addition to that, we'd probably done twice as many burpees. So we didn't finish with this. I have no idea how many cleans we actually ended up getting, but it was not a lot. And it was just this, like every single thing about this event, other than the dumbbells, just seemed to go to shit completely. I had a chat with the head judge about it, and he was like, he knew something was kind of going awry by the fact that we weren't told. So he kind of came over and then jumped in, which is obviously frustrating to hear, but it was good of him to do that because at least then we knew at that stage. Not an awful lot to say about it, guys, other than the fact that it didn't go our way, and it didn't go our way so much, and the whole thing of being no reps 10 times and just not being told, I experienced that as just so ludicrous and so kind of, I don't know, it was just a preposterous thing to happen that I got pretty annoyed about it. And one of the other things that I really think annoyed me, which is probably a bigger issue that I need to do some personal work on, is that it affected everyone in the team, obviously, and no one else in the team, and this has all been communicated already, but no one else in the team at the time really seemed to care, and that frustrated me a lot. So not much more to say about that, other than the fact it's a shame that the event ended that way with event 5. If we kind of had that terrible thing at the beginning of the day, and then everything got better, we'd probably remember it slightly differently. So it is a little bit of a shame, but it happens, and it's one of those things that you've got to learn. Sometimes you get slapped in the face a little bit with these things, but you just got to come back stronger and more positive. Oh team, what an absolute clusterfuck that last event was. The worm cleans were just an absolute shit show, and I kind of kicked off between rounds 2 and 3, and I kind of screamed at the judges and "See you, buddy," and I kicked a water ball, which is not particularly mature, and I'm still decompressing now. And it's a weird kind of point. It kind of sounds as though I'm back in my own corner, and I shouldn't. Kicking the water bottle was ridiculous, but screaming at the judges in the minute off so that everyone could hear, if we no rep, you need to tell us straight away, as opposed to just like no repping us and then not telling us, because then we don't know what to change. And obviously that just happened. We wasted an unbelievable amount of time on that, and we were like 18th out of 100 going into that event, and yeah, I don't know. And the only reason that we were 18th and probably not about 10th is because we made one massive misload mistake in the thrusters. So I was like, this could get us back up to like 15th or something, and we were probably one of the worst teams of the day out of 98 or 100 or however many there were. So kicking my water bottle was a mistake, and I absolutely concede to that, and I do not lose my temper often, but I think I was just primed. I don't know why it annoyed me so much. It just did. It was just that everyone just had such a passive response to that, and I was like, I don't necessarily see being incredibly vocal about something that you think is wrong as a bad thing. Kicking my water bottle was stupid, but kind of shouting to the judges, if we no rep, you need to tell us straight away. And then after the third round was full of no reps again, and I basically just kind of like stayed there for about 2 seconds and then I just fucking walked out. So not exactly the ideal end to the day. Yeah, really annoying, because I think a couple of small mistakes and we could have you know, done a hell of a lot better. And I'm sure that's the same with other teams as well. But the misload mistake in the barbells kind of was very, very, very costly. And that thing with the worm was just absolutely embarrassing. Like we were the worst there. We got loads and loads and loads of no reps on the worm because people just couldn't touch the shoulder. And it was probably no one's individual, you know, problem. No one's individual fault or mistake. It was just kind of combined with the fact that we did extra burpees and we were just all knackered, and it possibly was the end of the day, and it is something compared to the other workouts that requires a little bit more coordination. And yeah, just it's a shame. It's a shame. I feel a bit. I feel annoyed about it. I feel annoyed, but the good news is it's Saturday. Going out to dinner with my friends tonight, if they still like me, and coming to watch the Everyday Guys tomorrow, if they let me back in, and then I'm off to Dubai on Tuesday. So I cannot complain. Life is all good, but yeah, I do have to say I was frustrated. 2 things, kind of, you know, shouting at the judges. I don't regret. I actually think that was demonstrable for me of the fact that I genuinely do believe that being more proactive and vocal about something that you disagree with is not in a disrespectful way. I wasn't calling them names, but I was like, if this happens, you need to do this. I don't regret that, and I do believe that was an appropriate thing to do based on my kind of current value system. Kicking my water bottle was just stupid. But I was incredibly embarrassed at the fact that it was the end of the day, loads of people watching us, and it was one of the shittest performances of my entire fucking sporting life, actually. But yeah, there we go. Onwards and upwards. Thank you for tuning in, guys. Still some good stuff. Got a 110 thruster today, smashed some rope climbs. So overall it isn't too bad. It's just a shame that it finished a bit sour. If you're watching this now, thank you very much for staying with me and staying loyal to the end of the video. Have a good one, guys. And I am genuinely buzzing to kind of do more of this stuff, but I think I'm going to go into a little bit of kind of a functional bodybuilding phase, a bit of a power output phase, and maybe reduce the kind of the steady state cardio a little bit, pack on a little bit of lean muscle, and then get that muscle firing quick. I think that's kind of the next phase of my training, so do enjoy it. And until next time, guys, stay strong, stay healthy, stay awesome. Peace. See you soon.